Hey, what's going on everybody? My name is Chad. This week, I know I promised blood and mouse traps and that type of stuff. I am filming it tonight, and that'll be up on Father's Day, so because it's gonna be late, I figured I'll just do a quick little video here to tide you over. I've actually been doing a lot of review lately, and a buddy from Japan actually gave me these for N3 and N2 level. It's Nihongo Sou Matome books, and I'll do a review of these in like 6 weeks when I'm done actually doing the review, but it made me kind of bring up why and how I do what I do. More specifically, I had someone message me on YouTube, which I don't check my messages every day, but maybe once a week, and he wanted to know how many hours a day I study and what exactly it is I study, and I sent him my books, and I say, you don't like study for a time period. It's the same reason when you go to the gym, you don't go for an hour. It doesn't matter. An hour and you're barely lifting anything does nothing. It's a feeling you have when the pump is good. Not that I would know. But he didn't seem to get it because he still wrote me a bunch like, okay, well, how many hours do you study kanji a week? And all this stuff that doesn't technically matter when I think method and number matters. So I wanted to give you guys just a quick overview of my method and how I put my brain on paper when I'm actually studying. Now, first things first, the title's not a misspell, okay? WKGSLR is actually how my brain processes everything that I need to do in a single day to kind of be well-rounded in my Japanese study that day. If you're a long-time watcher of my videos, you guys know my goal videos. You guys know how I like to take big goals and subdivide them almost like a ladder down to the smallest goal, and then climb that ladder to achieve my goals, both with language learning, bodybuilding, rugby, hunting, whatever thing that I'm weird trying to try this week. So in order to do this, you will have to do that as well. You will have to have a big goal, be it a JLPT test score, or just knowing a certain amount of information. Like, I want to learn 1,000 words this year. Low goal, but okay, so 1,000 words in a year, divide that by the month, divide that by the week, divide that by the day. That's how many you should study a day. As long as you keep hitting that goal every day, from 1 year from now, technically you will have that 1,000. So you're gonna need to do that same thing for this technique. But every morning, religiously, I get out of bed and the very first thing I do, I don't brush my teeth, take a shower. I don't know anyone that showers in the morning, actually. I don't do any of that. I don't meditate. I get either a piece of paper towel or a piece of blank paper. Not this big. This is way bigger than I usually do. I do like a half sheet. But I make something similar to this. You guys can see WKG SLR. So I make one of these every day, and let me tell you just real quickly what it means. Words, kanji, grammar, speaking, listening, and reading. You need all of this to be a well-rounded studier of Japanese. Let's start with W. So basically, I have two numbers that I put into each one of these categories, review and new. At the top level is your intake level. This is when you're inputting information into the database and refreshing it, reviewing it to make sure that you understand the information, it stays at the tip top of your brain. Now, because I'm doing like organized review with these books, mine's been a little bit different the last 2 weeks. But before this, when I was just doing straight up textbook and doing normal stuff all the way through, I would review 100 words or whatever was bigger, 100 or half the amount of words I need to review in one of my smart card apps, so a Memrise and Anki, whatever you use. And I would study 10 words, but recently I've been studying 17 new words a day. So I didn't put it into my flashcard deck. I would do one deck that was the kanji and testing with kana, so having kana to be like, what does this kanji read as? And I would have another deck that's the kanji or kana, and it would test on what the English meaning is. And I'd run that 17 words a day, 6 days a week. Same thing with the kanji. I would review 100 or half of the entire deck, whichever is bigger, and 8 new. Now, you can actually subdivide this for, hey, I want to know kanji meaning and I want to learn kanji reading, or maybe kanji's parts of words, whatever your kanji study happens to be. Since January, I was studying the Heisig method, and I got to like 1,500 meanings, which, hey, awesome. That's way more than I need for my goal. My goal is the JLPT N2 this year. You only need to know 1,000. So I said, well, 1,500 is probably generous. So let's move on to readings. And I hate studying readings, but it's a part of life. So now I'm doing 8 readings a day. So that means by the time I'm done with this one in 6 weeks and the next review 6 weeks later, I should be at about 1,000 readings as well. Again, this is review. I'm probably pretty close to that now, but I'm just reviewing. Just want to make sure I'm good. Grammar's always tricky. So again, I put all my grammar points into flashcard decks. I don't know how exactly you study it, but that's one of the big ways for me. So I review those flashcard decks for 1,000, and I learn 3 new ones. If you're in a textbook, you would do whatever 3 things that you do. So let's say for me, it's 3 pages. Do your 3 pages. If it's 3 topics in that grammar notebook, you would do 1, 2, and 3, and then you would do the work in the workbook. Just make sure you're making progress on all of them. Basically what I do whenever I review, and let's say I review, 10 at a time, every 10 I'll put a dash mark on here. This is terrible dash marks, but yeah. And then I would just make cross marks like that. When I'm done reviewing, cross it off. And hey, I don't need to review anymore. I don't need to do any of that nonsense. So I can actually pick up all the time. I stop all the time and I pick up all the time. Some mornings, whenever I'm just not feeling it, I'll just review. Some mornings I'll have, I don't know, a cup of coffee and really freaking go at it. This gives me the freedom to know what exactly it is that I need to study and how much of it I need to study, so I can stop and pause anytime throughout the day. Last up to the bottom part of the paper, this is your output. This is your use of the language, which is just as important, if not more so, than the input. Because when you speak out, you are using if you are learning about how to use a hammer, you can't just input it. You need to actually use that hammer, smash your hand a couple times, mess up, learn that way. So this is just as important, but it's kind of a different way. So this doesn't have, obviously review or new type of info. This is a use-based thing. So my speaking, for the JLPT, speaking's non-existent, not a part of it. You don't need to know how to speak very well. So that's actually my least used section of this. It's the one I'm the most lenient on. But for you, maybe speaking's your goal. Maybe you want to get a Japanese girlfriend. Speaking's kind of important. This is in no particular order. It's just the least important for me, so it goes way over here. It's also the hardest to do when you're in America, which I am until the end of summer, so we're dealing with Skype conversations. Maybe you can do Snapchat combos with people. You can use conversationexchange.com or things like italki, but those are expensive. This is definitely the hardest one to do without a conversation partner or without living in Japan or having a lot of Japanese friends, because you need to make sure they're free to talk. So I give myself a lot of pass on that, but I do try my best. So you can see this one says Skype Mirori, which is one of my buddies that I Skype to talk with. Listening's the next one. Listening's the next easiest because anime, duh. There's so much Japanese content on the internet. Japanese movies, Japanese TV shows, Japanese anime, Japanese music. There's all sorts of stuff that you could listen to. I suggest things with clean speaking, so anime is probably not the best option. I would recommend some form of Japanese TV with actual Japanese people, living Japanese people. But that being said, I understand those are harder to find than, anime on Kiss Anime or whatever website you're using illegally. So do you, boo-boo. I'm just saying, find a way to do that. I'm actually watching the last season of Haikyuu, and I'm watching episodes 2 through 5, and I have to watch them without the subtitles. Subtitles kill any sort of knowledge gains you can get, just like soda kills any sort of muscle gains. Finally, reading, and because I'm Cancer and spelled angle, I'm actually reading the 4th to the 8th chapter of the manga of DN Angel. This is a bit harder than I'm used to reading right now, just because they have a lot of new concepts I don't know, like Master Thief was a new word I didn't know, and I had to look that up. So I'm doing that one. I always go with these until my brain hurts. It's not necessarily a time limit, I do it for an hour, I do it for a half hour. I do it until I felt like my brain has a workout. You guys know when you're really concentrating and you can feel your brain move and it hurts? That's when I go up until, but I don't push through it because your brain's just gonna stop there. So when I hit that point, when I feel that good pump, that's when I stop. And honestly, that's it. That's what I do every morning, and I make sure by the time I go to bed, I can't go to bed unless I finish that method. But that's just my method. It's just what I do. I know that you guys have been studying too. There are people that watch this that have actually passed the N2 and passed the N1, who are hella impressive. What did you guys use? What did your daily routine look like? Was it something similar to this? Was it probably more complex than this because I'm a very simple person? Whatever it looked like, tell me in the comments down below. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or compliments, as always, put them in the comments down below. If you like the video, be sure to like it down below. It helps me get found. Helps future Japanese learners, the little Tim who's just starting out in Japanese 101, find my channel, maybe learn some tips, maybe look cool in front of Japanese girls. You guys could be supporting little Tim getting the hookup in the Nippon. And if you check out my other videos or my live streams on Saturday or my song translations or the podcast, be sure to subscribe if you enjoyed it. If you don't enjoy it, I don't want you to sub. I just want you to sub if this is something you find valuable to you. And with all that being said, I will see you on Friday for a special Father's Day video. And be warning, blood, mousetraps, fire, so if you're sensitive, don't watch it. And live stream on Saturday. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for giving me a little bit of your time today.